Sister number 1 si Teddy.
Oh my goodness, I am so smart.
Sister number 2 si Bobby.
True love my ass.
Sister number 3 si Alex.
I love my life. Woo!
Sister number 4 si Gabby.
To your classrooms, now.
And the baby of the family si CJ. I'm getting married!
Magpapakasal.
Hindi kaya nakulang managay yung bunso natin?
Kung Techi, ano pa man ang opinion natin, kailangan yung umuwi para sa big event.
Ate Bobby!
Ikaw ba sigurado dyan sa babaeng papakasalan mo?
Oo naman ate.
Eh, chararat daw, sabi itong si Alex.
Anong chararat?
Chararat yung
Unattractive.
pinaganda mo pa. Pangit.
I love you, my love.
I love you too, my love.
So the movie that you have witnessed by now is a movie about four sisters and the wedding, which was released in the Philippines on June 26, 2013, and internationally on July 5th of the same year, 2013. It is a genre of which is a romantic comedy drama. The summary goes as the sisters of CJ with very different personalities and egos. Teddy, the OFW from Spain who has skeletons in her closet. Gabby, the old maid with that loving maternal instincts. Bobby, the career-driven New Yorker whose only regret is that she did not live an adventurous life. And Alex, the wayward daughter whose current boyfriend was Bobby's past lover. CJ is betrothed to a sweet and well-off lady whose surname is Bayag, the daughter of a peculiar couple. Only after 4 months of dating her, it is for this reason and the eccentricity of the family of their future sister-in-law that the conflict is not between their family and the Bayags but among the sisters themselves. The viewer will later realize that it's not CJ who's the protagonist but the four sisters as hinted in the movie title. The reason that our group chooses this movie is that it thought as that women may be strong independently but they're stronger together, working as a unit for one goal. It talks about life, love, and family. The movie is very relatable to us Filipinos family, and it does not just involve comedy but also love and drama.
Stage of Relationship Part 2. After a heated encounter with the Bayags, the Salazar family returns home and Teddy is faced with the dilemma whether or not she should speak about her true circumstances in Spain. Teddy apologizes to her mom for lying to her and ultimately confesses that she couldn't bring herself to accept her own failures, especially in comparison to her relatively successful siblings. This opens the conversation, allowing Bobby to confess the jealousy she felt towards her sisters and the reason why she felt the need to keep her cold and insensitive exterior. In this scene, the family talks about their mother's favorite children, their personal struggles, and they cry, they forgive, and they receive closure. This stage of relationship is called repair. When the Salazar family first reunited in the movie, it was very clear that sibling relationships were strained and that there was a struggle to keep up appearances in front of family members. An example for this is Teddy convincing her family that she was a successful teacher in Spain, with a boyfriend to keep her company. There was tension and passive-aggressive behavior in the interactions between the sisters, and there was a clear need for reconciliation. In this particular scene, Teddy and Bobby have already gone through the process of intrapersonal repair, wherein they conclude that the family relationship is worth saving and that expressing themselves is perhaps the best way to do so. They both realize their sources of conflict, which required self-reflection and acceptance on personal issues, such as self-criticism and jealousy. The actual scene illustrates the interpersonal repair phase, wherein conflicts between characters are addressed and resolved actively.
The first chosen stage of relationship is the intimacy stage. First is the interpersonal commitment phase. This phase happened when Bobby and Tristan were respectfully and successfully pursuing their career in the US, and also inspiredly finding time for one another as lovers. CJ, the youngest and only son, was getting betrothed with his fiancée Princess. That's when his mother summoned all his elder sisters for homecoming. This was also the opportunity for a family reunion, and for the elder sisters to introduce their respective fiancés to the family. Next is the social bonding phase. So this phase happened when Bobby, one of the sisters, came home from the US with Tristan. Quite distinctively from the rest of the other sisters, she and Tristan brought along Trixie, which is Tristan's daughter. Tristan stayed with the family for quite some time, until he received a call from his boss in the US that he should go to Singapore for a business trip. Before he left, he appealed to Bobby that when he would come back, Bobby should already be wearing the ring that he gave her. Then Trixie told Bobby while crying that Bobby should not give false expectations about marrying her dad. Bobby was all the more challenged, and then she finally realized that she really loved Tristan. She was sure that she would like to marry Tristan. Quite a blessing in disguise, Princess's grandfather died, which gave way to Tristan and Bobby getting married, avoiding the conflict of Filipino tradition that no two siblings, CJ and Bobby, should get married in the same year. In order not to waste the long preparations and big expenses for the supposed wedding of CJ and Princess, Bobby thought it would be a perfect chance for Tristan to fulfill his dream of marrying her. So when Tristan returned to Bobby's family house after the business trip, Toti Marie, which is the loyal family maid, daringly
dragged Tristan into the church. Being unaware and confused with the situation, Tristan was tremendously surprised that he was eventually going to attend his own wedding.
Bea Alonso, also known as Bobby Salazar in the movie, shows assertiveness. She is very direct and straightforward when communicating. On the day of the pamamanhikan, the father of the wife-to-be assumes that she is a caregiver from New York.
Maid Bobby.
The New Yorker. Caregiver?
I am a corporate communications manager. I am required to have an extensive vocabulary so I never use inane and poorly worded language like black sheep and old maid to describe the people I just met.
As we can see, she replied professionally. Bea Alonso in the whole movie was someone who had always had something to be proud of. She is educated, financially able, vocal, and is successful in her career and love life. However, she too plays a responsible role for the maintenance of her mother's medication. She is also struggling and has her own battles growing up. She strives hard to be excellent, to win her mother's attention and approval. This was shown when she tries to explain her unsaid feelings. Insert the clip. It is evident that her character and her way of assertive communication does not merely depend on her career and romantic relationship, but also with the closure and long-time emotional wounds she was facing with her own family growing up. With Bobby's assertiveness, she was able to communicate her feelings well. It actually turned out positively, so this also caused her mother and siblings to effectively communicate with one another and caused the Salazar family to be closer than ever.
The other main character, Tony Gonzaga, also known as Teddy in the movie, is someone who shows a passive-aggressive way of communicating. Being the eldest and visibly the favorite among the four sisters, it is evident in the movie that she is authoritative. She is also very similar to most of the eldest siblings in a Filipino setup where the eldest son or daughter faces extreme pressure and crisis. She is very similar to the typical eldest sibling in every Filipino family who acts like an extension of being a parent in the family. However, it is evident in the movie that she is struggling to tell her family the truth about her work in Madrid. She was self-denying and emotionally dishonest at first.
This was shown on the part of the movie when the confrontation happening. She was caught off guard when confronted about her real work.
Ma, alam ko naman kahit anong mangyari, mahal na mahal niyo ako eh. Pero ako kasi may problema. Ako yung hindi makatanggap na ganito na lang ako. Na hindi ko narating lahat ng mga pangarap mo sa akin, ma. Na ako talaga yung kulelat sa lahat ng mga anak mo.
It is visible that her mother and other siblings will never know the truth about her being a waitress and a janitress in Spain, not until she was confronted about it. She had no way out, and telling them the truth was the only way. In addition, she tells the truth about how she only borrowed money so she can go home with the fear of being a disgrace and a disappointment being the eldest in the family. It was clear in the confrontation that they were able to talk about the truths and the roots of their personal problems, where jealousy and the feeling of not being enough were talked about. And then after, they were able to stop accordingly.
Angel Locsin, also known as Alex in the movie, demonstrates an aggressive way of communicating. Among the siblings, Alex had the strongest personality, resulting in her having frequent fights with the people around her, particularly Bobby. A specific example of this would be when the siblings started fighting after Teddy tried to sabotage Princess' family business.
Ikaw palusot ka na naman eh. Ano? Ikaw, nag-New York ka lang, ang yabang-yabang mo na.
So this is about me now.
No! Gusto ko na! Hoy! Hoy! Kapi ka sa kanya palagi naman eh. Kayong nagsisigaw.
Bobby and Alex had a strained relationship, especially after Alex got together with Bobby's ex-boyfriend. Their lack of proper communication resulted in the deterioration of their strong relationship when they were kids. However, Alex's behavior is also a result of her family constantly questioning her, especially when it comes to her decisions in life. She is one of the most misunderstood characters in the movie, and it clearly shows when they all got together to explain themselves at the end. When they were able to talk everything out, Alex became softer and was able to communicate better, resulting in her having better relationships with the people around her, especially with her family.